There's one more principle. I know like we want to limit it, but this kind of ties into those as well, and that is compassion. And that to me, I'd heard this word throughout my life, and I sort of had a vague idea of what it meant, but it's only recently that I've actually looked into it and thought, okay, what does that actually mean? And then looked at other people's explanations of it. And compassion is really just the acknowledgement that we are flawed and that people do make mistakes, and if they make mistakes, they have to pay for it. This is part of the compassion part. They are accountable. You hold them accountable, but then you move on. You don't hold it against them. It's not something that, you keep going back to. It's that understanding, acknowledging that they're flawed, acknowledging mistakes they've made, let them make up for the mistakes, and then just move on. They're a different person now. They've learned from it or whatever. And that's something that I think is a good, especially you see in today's society, people getting called out, cancelled or whatever it is for stuff that they did years ago that they probably regret themselves and probably like are really ashamed that they did it and have learned from and changed, and now they're different human beings, and people trying to bring that up and use that as ammo against them. And that's just disgusting behavior to me. So I think compassion is how I would encompass that idea of letting it go and moving on and allowing people to grow. So how do you feel about compassion?
Yeah, compassion, true, very, very true. Yeah, compassion is to support someone through whatever how can I say it? Where they've failed. So I agree, you allow them to fail and there's a consequence there, and being compassionate means that you can support them throughout that period of time. So I agree, the whole cancel culture, and even, I even have some strong views about, the criminal system on this as well. So, I think that you need, it would be much better presented if you can sit down with someone. Like those cancer cultures, they should really be given airtime about what actually happened and the space for them to talk through what had happened and how they reflect on it today. I think that would be much more valuable, because a lot of those people probably realise the mistake that they've made. And if we just banish people because they make mistakes, we're going to be in a very terrible position, because we all make them. I'm sure I've done said the wrong things at certain times and I regret, or in a room and they're not well thought out. And there was no bad intention behind it a lot of the time, but it just come off the wrong way. So we do need to give people the support when they go through those failings, and that I think compassion is definitely central to that. Allowing people to fail.
100% with what you said. I mean, intent is really the most important thing. It's something that's a lot of the times just glossed over. People just look at exactly what they said verbatim, take it out of context, just write it on a piece of paper and read it out, and that's exactly what they meant. And it's like, no, the context, what they meant. Like, look at the intent, don't necessarily look at what they said, because again, we are all imperfect and we do struggle at times. I certainly struggle with words at times, and I might say the wrong thing, but the intent was never what other people or what the words would suggest. So yeah, definitely look at the intent.